It's the Voice Coach podcast with me, Nic Redman, your own personal voice geek, ready to guide you through getting the most out of your speaking voice. If you use your voice for a living as an actor, podcaster, voice artist, speaker or presenter, then this is the podcast for you. Let's crack on. Hey there, hopefully buzzy friend. I hope you've had a nice week raising your resonance awareness. We're going to continue that theme this week and get even more familiar with the vibrations and whatnot, and add in a little something else that is essential when it comes to resonance. But I sort of went back to my books this week a bit, as I often do, not going to lie, to get some inspiration and update my practice and just check in on a few things, because I was working with a client one-to-one on some resonance. It was someone who'd been given some unnecessarily mean feedback about their voice being a particular way, which was nonsense. But we had an explore and we found the balance of something working on resonance that made them feel more confident in the vocal variety and the expression they can have. And I came across this lovely quote I wanted to share to help sort of put the idea of why resonance is important into context even more for you as a speaker. This is from Finding Your Voice by Barbara Houseman, page 163. So there's a wee bit at the bottom of this page that says, why work on resonance at all? Which is, a very valid question. And she gives this lovely line: resonance brings substance and energy to the voice. When the voice is fully resonant, it is fully alive. You can feel the resonance in your body. The voice and body feel fully awake and connected, and so they can be more responsive to and expressive of your thoughts and feelings. Isn't that nice? I mean, let's be honest, it's what we as speakers are aiming for, isn't it? It doesn't matter what you're trying to communicate or who you're trying to communicate to. It's about having a voice that is free and responsive to the emotions and the message we have to share. You could be a podcast host who has an important topic to discuss, or a presenter with a big interview to do, a performer working on a monologue, or like even a business person giving a talk on, I don't know what business people talk about, the most recent quarterly sales figures. But it's important to remember that it's just still words that need to be conveyed in a way that connects. And I think one of the important things in that quote actually is the word expressive. So if you're listening to this as someone who thinks their voice is monotone, or has been told that their voice is boring or uninteresting or whatever other nonsense, then resonance is something that you should be exploring. So today is going to be a wee experiment, really. I'm going to share some exercises to encourage awareness of the spaces that affect the resonance potential and sort of open them up a little bit. As I mentioned in the last episode, tension or unnecessary excess tension is going to dampen your resonance potential. So today we're going to have an explore of how a little bit of release work in the vocal tract affects our awareness and ability to connect with resonance. Now, in order to see if this release, we're going to do like a before and after comparison. So we'll do a hum before we get started to get some feedback on where we are vocally at the moment. It's very early for me here, so I don't feel quite like my voice is woken up yet, to be honest. And full disclosure, I came in here without warming up. I'll put my hands up. I'm on a deadline and it needed doing, and it just didn't warm up. So this is really good for me too. So as ever, let's just let out a nice sigh of relief. Find yourself in a comfy standing, seated, lying position. Let's let out a nice sigh of relief in preparation for releasing the abs and letting the breath come back in. And then we're going to let that hum come out on the out breath. So sigh of relief. Let that moment of pause, release the abs, let the breath come in, and let a gentle hum out. And take a minute to check in with what you can feel right now, having spent some time over this week hopefully exploring those vibrations after the last episode. Notice where you can feel buzzing, if anything at all, where the body's responding. Is there anything going on in the face? Maybe arbitrarily give it a buzz rating from 1 to 5. 1 being not buzzy, 5 being, oh good lord, I feel like I'm going to take off. Great, now we're going to do 1 tongue release, 1 lip release, 1 soft palate raising and 1 pharyngeal or throat releasing exercise, which is my favourite, and you'll see why. I'm very good at it. And see what happens to this buzz when we hum afterwards. I'll credit these exercises as accurately as I can, by the way, from where I learned them, and pop any links to the books if relevant in the show notes. So if you're interested in where they come from, check down there. All right, so we've done our buzz, we've checked in where we are from 1 to 5. Let's start at the front of the vocal tract and release the lips a little bit. I'd like you to make the smallest ooh vowel shape you possibly can with your mouth. So really small, rounded, quite pouty mouth shape. Ooh. And then the biggest E shape, as in E fleece, without it going too maniacal and Joker-like. Remember the motto of voice training, which is ease. And we're just going to go from that ooh to that E rapidly and lightly as quickly as you can. Wee, 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 wee. Oh, now I'm putting the sounds in so you can hear how my movement's going, because this is an auditory input for you. You can't see, but you can stay silent if you want to or you need to. If your voice isn't ready, it's just about the shapes. Wee, 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 wee. Yay! Yeah, feels quite nice. Ooh, ooh, ee, and you can slow it down and be quite deliberate. Ooh, ee. Ooh, ee, ooh, ee. Yay for mouth noise. A little bit of saliva clickage going on there. So that's a really nice one, going from the ooh to the big E to get the lips released and energized, and also a little bit of freedom in the cheeks. That's a phrase I don't say every day. Freedom in the cheeks. Put that on a mug. Okay, let's do the tongue now, which is the next bit we hit if we travel down the vocal tract from the lips towards the larynx. And this is everyone's favourite. It's slug tongue. I picked this up from the Vocal Arts Workbook by David and Rebecca Carey, but there's a version of it in Barbara Houseman's book too, Finding Your Voice. I'm sure every voice practitioner has their version of this. It's so great. So the tongue comes out of the mouth and gently flops down on the bottom lip like a big flat slug. So you start to sound like this. Your tongue is out on that lower lip. Then you're just going to say something really mindless that you don't have to think about. Days of the week, months of the year, and counting 1 to 10 works really nicely. So for example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you'll notice it's not gone completely into like, I'm still sort of trying to form the words around it, but it's just my tongue is hanging out. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And wipe away any saliva that might be collecting around the lip area. You can also just talk through something, by the way, like what you had for your breakfast or whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as the tongue's staying released out on the bottom lip and it's not trying to get in and out of the mouth, which happens sometimes. It's actually really good, as well as much hilarity, to do this work in front of a mirror, by the way, so you can see what your tongue's doing, just for that visual input as well for your learning process. All right, so that's the lips and the tongue. Now we're going to do the soft palate. So we're travelling back again down the vocal tract, lips, tongue, soft palate. And we're sort of going to use an element of the Alexander technique, whispered ah here, but kind of backwards, and with something that I'm pretty sure that I got from Joanna Weir Houston in a Linklater voice session when I was doing my master's degree in voice. So, okay, step 1 is let your jaw drop gently. That's me letting my jaw drop. Imagine something lovely that when you look at it, it makes you really smile. And then allow that lovely, gentle, inwards, whispered, ah, kind of happy, smiley reaction come into the body on the breath. I'm going to do it really loud so you get an idea of what I mean. It's like this. Just again. So it's that, but as silently as you can, right? So you let that lovely whispered ah come into the body. And what you should feel is like a coolness in the back of the throat from the air coming in. Maybe your eyebrows raise a little if you're really committing to the to the moment. Mine certainly do. As if you're just marvelling at a wonder and your whole face and the inside of your mouth just open up. Then I'd like you to do it with a gentle k sound on the front. So what we're doing is giving the soft palate a cheeky wee kick up with the tongue to encourage some space and openness in the back of the throat. So we get this. Again, I'm going to do it really loud so that you can hear what I mean, but really try it nice and gently as possible. So you're looking for a kind of... I'll do that again. So you get a k and then that lovely whispered ah. really gently, really quietly, and actually then do it a little bit on the in and the out breath. And just once more, I'm doing it ever so slightly louder so you can literally hear what I'm trying to demonstrate. So keep it as quiet and gentle and whispered as you can. Lovely. So what we're doing there is encouraging the soft palate to raise up and stretch out to get a little bit more space. Because of course space is one of the things that resonance likes. Okay, great. The final thing we're going to do is a lovely, very important exercise for stretching some of the throat muscles, the constrictor muscles in the back of the pharynx. And that is, are you ready? It's coming as I think about it. A lovely, great big yawn. I couldn't stop it. It's so weird, isn't it? The yawn magic. I bet you're yawning too and you don't even know why. Now, this is a professional yawn, by the way, so you got to give it all you got. It's one of those kind of socially annoying yawns that are too loud and too long, and you really get annoyed with your partner, husband, dad for doing all the time. So you're going to pop the tongue behind the bottom teeth, all right, on your lower lip, and really ride that yawn. I like to think of it like a roller coaster, so the long ride up is like that initial build-up of the yawn, like you know it's coming. The whooshy release of going over the top. Oh, it's so nice. My eyes are watering. I'm enjoying myself that much. Totes emosh. So one more lovely yawn. Just, if you can't yawn, imagine you've got like a magic toffee in your mouth, and as you chew it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger with your lips closed, bigger and bigger and bigger towards the back of the mouth. So you're feeling loads of space and loads of space and loads of space, and the tongue's lowering and the soft palate's rising, and then you get this lovely lovely feeling of the yawn. And hopefully you'll feel a little bit of a stretch in that area that we're talking about at the back of the throat. Great. Okay, so we've done lips, we've done tongue, we've done soft palate, we've done throat/pharynx. So let's have another hum. And don't think too much about it, but just let a gentle and see how it feels this time. Perhaps bring back your arbitrary 1 to 5 buzz rating and give it another comparison now. See where you sit. Oh, mine feels much buzzier now, but for no more effort, so that's nice. I do like it when the stuff I suggest works for me, because it means that you'll hopefully be feeling the effects too. If you're not, don't worry about it. Just go back and do the exercises again and get a little bit more release and a little bit more space. And of course, there's loads more lip release and tongue release and jaw release coming in articulation episodes later on in this podcast. Or you can nip to my YouTube channel, because there's loads of tongue release and jaw release and lip release stuff on there actually. So that might be a good place to start if you feel like you need more release to feel even more buzz. I'll pop a link in the show notes as usual, but that's Nic's Quick Voice Tips on YouTube. So give it a wee search. But anyway, that brings us yawnily to the end of the episode. Give your body a wee bit of a shake if you feel like you need to get the energy going again. Give those shoulders a jiggle. And off you buzz. Into the booth or onto the mic or into the classroom, wherever you have to be. I'll see you next time for a little bit more resonance play. Oh, and I'll be in the Voice and Accent Hub as usual on Facebook if you've got any questions. We've got a live Q&A in there coming up next Wednesday, the 23rd of June at 7 p.m. So if you do have any questions you'd like to get to me, pop in there and stick them on the question thread. See you soon. Thanks for listening to the Voice Coach podcast. For even more tips, tricks, exercises and general crack, head over to our Facebook community, the Voice and Accent Hub. Thanks again. Oh God, I can't stop. It's very nice.